Here's your news for May 27th, 2020. And your headlines for today include: Nia Jax causes bloody injury for Kairi Sane during WWE television tapings. Released WWE superstar joins Impact Wrestling. Spoiler for Rey Mysterio's retirement ceremony. Top NXT star might leave WWE. Samoa Joe's current injury status and his future. WWE seems to have big plans for WCW. Vince McMahon responds to report that he is buying XFL out of bankruptcy. Why Bret Hart refused to be part of Owen Hart Vice documentary, and more. We're starting today with news from Monday Night Raw, as an unfortunate injury recently took place at one of the Red Brand's tapings. Fightful is reporting that there was a, quote, rough situation during the TV tapings concerning Nia Jax and Kairi Sane's match, saying, "The spot occurred outside near the stairs when Kairi was thrown and her head hit the corner of the stairs, opening her up. The match was paused and medical came out to take care of Kairi Sane, sealing the wound and bandaging her up. We're told that Kairi indicated that she was fine and insisted on finishing up the match." This is the second time in recent memory that the Irresistible Force has roughed up the former WWE Women's Tag Team Champion, and it'll be interesting to see whether the company takes any action against Nia Jax, who will challenge Sane's tag partner Asuka at Backlash. We've got news from Impact Wrestling next, as following her WWE release after months of inactivity, but asking for so much more, Deonna Purrazzo has officially joined the company. It was confirmed last night that the 25-year-old has signed with Impact, and while other details of her signing are unknown, the company did release a short video about the virtuosa on social media. Purrazzo, who was part of the April 15th releases, was let go from an NXT contract, meaning she only had a 30-day non-compete clause, and she certainly didn't waste any time finding a new wrestling home as part of Impact Wrestling's Knockouts division. We're looking ahead to next week's edition of Monday Night Raw now, as the show may see the return of Dominic Mysterio. There's plenty of reasons to believe next week's show will see Dominic return, as he was specifically name-dropped by Seth Rollins on Raw, and it'll be the Monday Night Messiah who hosts the retirement ceremony for Dominic's father Rey on next week's show. In addition to this, it's been reported that Dominic has quietly deleted his private Facebook account in recent weeks, which would make sense if he wanted to avoid being accosted by fans online. Dominic's friends have also been kept in the dark about his wrestling career lately, which has also been interpreted as a sign of the 23-year-old's return, as the last thing either he, Rey, or WWE needs is his friends leaking any details. It's been reported that Rey's deal with WWE will expire in a couple of months, and while it was already likely he'll re-sign, having his son join the roster next week would surely seal the deal. There's also been rumors of Dominic even turning heel to join Seth Rollins' new stable, and though time will tell whether that actually happens, it would certainly make for an interesting feud for the former WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Speaking of Raw, this week's show marked the return of a crowd atmosphere, as NXT stars were used in the audience, but fans are wondering just how long it'll be before the show is taken on the road again. WrestleVotes is reporting that WWE is looking at ideas that would allow them to do live events once again, and said that the current plexiglass barricades are likely to stay when that happens. The report also said that whilst the company's live event schedule is being rebuilt, fans shouldn't expect any live wrestling before July, and although the company is discussing talking ticket sales again, they still know the importance of sticking to social distancing guidelines. Time will tell how WWE will fare in the world after the current situation, and as Vince McMahon has stated that the company might not even be in the live event business once things go back to normal, hopefully the company's schedule will give us some answers. Over to NXT now, and whilst he may be the reigning champion of the Gold brand, Adam Cole may soon find himself out of the company. Wrestling News is reporting that Cole's NXT contract is up this summer, and if he doesn't re-sign, he could be out of WWE by August or September. With Cole's talent, it wouldn't be too hard for him to find a new wrestling home, especially as his girlfriend Britt Baker has expressed her desire to see Cole face the Elite and join her in AEW. If Cole does allow his NXT contract to run out, then he'll have no non-compete clause, which is a similar situation to what happened with AEW's Jon Moxley and Matt Hardy. There's been speculation that Cole could be AEW bound, as he was at the company's recent Memorial Day party with Baker, which also saw the Young Bucks, SCU, and others attend, and he's also been to a few AEW social situations in the past. If his contract expired in August or early September, then that'd give the Undisputed Era leader time to debut at All Out, although this speculation and rumors should be taken with a grain of salt, considering that Cole is the reigning NXT champion and seems to be very happy with his position. We're taking a break from the ring now, as we've got an update regarding Jim Cornette's comments about Becky Lynch. After expressing his anger at the man taking time off to become a mother, Cornette's comments drew the ire of Seth Rollins, Lynch's fiancé, who said those remarks hurt his feelings, as they came from a man he once respected. On a recent episode of his drive-thru show, Cornette said he didn't understand how he hurt Rollins, saying, "The bone of contention where I hurt his feelings is that I said bad things about Becky Lynch. Obviously that would hurt someone's feelings, but let's go back and see, did I say anything bad about Becky Lynch as a talent or a person? I said she was the biggest female wrestling star, and maybe the biggest wrestling star in the world, because there ain't a lot of male stars these days." Cornette also claimed that describing Lynch as a female Stone Cold is quite high praise, and added that although he paints a less than attractive picture of the physical effects of pregnancy, he finds Lynch to be an attractive young lady. Whilst Cornette may be claiming ignorance, it should be noted that he did say a pregnant Lynch would be a quote raging bitch, which got under the skin of more than just Seth Rollins. Clearly, Cornette doesn't see what the big deal is, and whilst Lynch will be back with WWE eventually, we're not sure we can say the same for Cornette after his latest round of controversial comments. We're heading back to Monday Night Raw, and though Angel Garza is yet to hold gold on the red brand, that doesn't mean the company doesn't believe in him. As seen on this week's show, Garza got a clean victory over Kevin Owens, and on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer said how this may be the first of many for the 27-year-old superstar. He said, "He lost to McIntyre a couple of weeks ago, and I think they see something in the guy. I know they should. You gotta beat established guys to go anywhere. If you don't, then you won't get anywhere. I just hope that they don't 50-50 it next week, but it was the right thing to do." Knowing WWE's use of 50-50 booking, it's entirely possible Owens will get his win back next Monday, but for now, nothing can take away from Garza's huge win this week. With his natural charisma and talent in the ring, as well as his clean win over the former Universal Champion, the future certainly seems bright for Angel Garza. From the ring to the announcer's table next, as Samoa Joe is doing big things as part of the Red Brand's commentary team, but fans have been left wondering what his status is in the ring. During Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer noted that the former United States champion is still waiting to be cleared after suffering a concussion during Raw's It Must Be Monday commercial. The table bump that caused the concussion still made it into the commercial, and it was also noted that Joe's rapidly growing list of injuries isn't a good thing for the Samoan submission machine. Meltzer also noted that Joe is, quote, far too valuable as a wrestler to become a full-time announcer, as it's clear that the company's roster depth is in need of someone like Samoa Joe. With that in mind, though, WWE has a very strict concussion policy, especially given the Chris Benoit tragedy and Daniel Bryan's retirement, so fans shouldn't expect to see Joe returning to the ring until the company decides he's ready. We are going back in time to 2001 now, as after the WWF purchased WCW and had a very disappointing invasion, the company did away with the WCW name, at least until now. It's being reported that the company filed for a trademark on the WCW name on May 18th, with the majority of the possible applications having to do with merchandising. Fans can expect plenty of WCW merchandise to be coming their way very soon, so whether you're a follower of Goldberg or your NWO for life, there's bound to be something for fans who want some nostalgia of the defunct company and are willing to pay for it. Speaking of trademarks, we've got some news from outside WWE now, as Matt Cardona, formerly known as Zack Ryder, may have locked down a name that could become his new nickname. After being released from WWE on April 15th, Cardona left the Broski moniker behind, but did file a trademark for the term Internet Champion and $1,000 Broski, the latter being his nickname on the Major Wrestling Figure podcast, as he spent plenty on his pursuit of classic toys. On May 21st, Cardona also filed a trademark for Major Player, which both plays off the Major Wrestling Figure podcast he hosts with Brian Myers, aka Kurt Hawkins, as well as their WWE debut as the Major Brothers. We'll have to see what Cardona does with the Major Player copyright, and whilst there's no guarantee he and Myers will work together on the indies, the pair's collection of wrestling figures continues to grow. One person who won't be leaving WWE anytime soon is Matt Riddle, who will soon be called up to Friday Night SmackDown this week. According to PW Insider, there have been plans for Riddle to be called up not too long ago. As they reported, there have been plans to move Riddle to the Blue brand since before WrestleMania 36, but they've been on pause coming out of that pay-per-view. Talk of the plans finally going into effect started making the rounds several weeks ago. Tonight's edition of NXT will see Riddle face Timothy Thatcher in a cage fight where the only way to win is via knockout or submission, and this certainly seems like a fitting final NXT match for the former UFC fighter. We've got some news from the XFL next, as while the league may be finished, there have been reports that Vince McMahon himself is trying to revive it by buying the company out of bankruptcy. According to the chairman of the board himself, though, that isn't happening, as the boss reportedly said at a filing today that he won't be a bidder for the XFL, according to ESPN's Kevin Seifert. It was suspected that McMahon was trying to wait out the current global situation so that he could buy back the league for a lower price, which would also mean that he wouldn't have to pay a penny to any people he owed money to, though this seemingly won't be happening. Given that McMahon is already engaged in a wrongful termination lawsuit with former XFL Commissioner Oliver Luck, and that lawsuit seems to be a long way from finishing, it looks like the last thing the WWE CEO wants at this moment is to return back to the gridiron. Back to wrestling now, and Vice's Dark Side of the Ring season finale that covered the death of Owen Hart had a lot of people involved, but one person fans didn't see was Owen's brother Bret. On Saturday night's main event, Dave Meltzer stated that the Hitman was asked but never got back to Vice, though Meltzer also explained how Vice would have struggled to get anyone close to WWE. With or without Bret, the Owen episode had some valuable interviews, and also broke a viewership record for Vice, as even 21 years later, fans continue to mourn the loss of the Rocket.